All right, now to this. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released a report she says is one of the biggest political scandals in recent history. The Trump-Russia investigation. She claims after Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election, Obama-era officials undertook an administration-wide campaign to discredit him. The DNI director spoke on Sunday Morning Futures.
We had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do.
All right, joining us now, Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen. Good morning to you. Marc, what is new in all these documents, this blitz of documents released Friday?
Yeah, so this is really very important to get to the bottom of this, because this is one of the worst political scandals of our lifetime. We spent 2 years and tens of millions of dollars investigating what turned out to be a conspiracy theory, which is that Donald Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. And it turned out it wasn't true. And there were a lot of Democrats were pushing this. A lot of people in the media were pushing it. But what was most insidious were the people in the intelligence community who would basically were telling the American people a pernicious lie, which is you can't see it, but we've seen secret intelligence that suggests that the president was conspiring with Russia to steal the election, and it wasn't true. Brennan was one of the worst people involved in this. He called Trump a traitor, said he committed treason, that he was an agent of the Russian regime, and this is really bad because it calls into question the intelligence community's credibility. And so we got to get to the bottom of who did this, who is behind it, and find out why and call them out.
You know, Democrats in the intelligence community and who work on intel issues on Capitol Hill say there's nothing to see here. This is all just more on something we've already heard 100 times. Here's Jim Himes. Take a listen.
What you saw from the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was not just a lie, but a very dangerous lie, because when you start throwing around language like sedition and treason, somebody's going to get hurt.
What's your response to that, Marc?
So, I'm sorry, John Brennan accused Donald Trump of treason. Adam Schiff accused Donald Trump of treason. Eric Swalwell said he was an agent of a foreign power. So for them to say that Tulsi Gabbard is politicizing intelligence, they weaponized intelligence against the President of the United States. And look, there's two different things that are going on here. There's the question of whether Russia tried to interfere in the 2016 election, which they did.
Right.
And I would remind everyone that Donald Trump launched a cyber attack against the troll farm in St. Petersburg responsible for that election interference. So Donald Trump actually was the one taking that more seriously than the Democrats. Barack Obama didn't do that. But there's the question of whether Donald Trump conspired with Russia in that interference to help it to steal the election, which has been proven to be an absolute lie. And the Democrats pushed that lie. All Blumenthal, Warner, Schiff, Swalwell all went out and said there was evidence, secret evidence, that Donald Trump had conspired with Russia, and it wasn't true. And we need to find out what the source of those lies are. What were they seeing, if they did see anything in the intelligence community that turned out to be false, so we can restore the credibility of the intelligence community.
Well, look, some Democrats have pointed out that the origin, as you mentioned there, was really this intelligence that appeared to show at the time that the Russian president, at least, favored Donald Trump's election over that of Hillary Clinton, and that some political figures took that, perverted it, and made it a collusion.
Yeah, so CIA Director Ratcliffe actually just put out a report on this. And if you look at that report, the evidence for the interference, the idea that they were interfering in the election is clear, but whether they favored Trump, a lot of that was driven by the Steele dossier. And there was a huge fight within the intelligence community about whether to include the Steele dossier, which was paid for by the Clinton campaign, which was political opposition research that turned out to be untrue, to include that in the intelligence assessment of the intelligence agencies. And it was the FBI and Brennan who were pushing to include it, and the intelligence professionals who were saying that it shouldn't be in there. So we need to get to the bottom of that as well.
All right, you can check out those documents. They are now publicly available online, anywhere you get your news, including foxnews.com. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Mark.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.